And there we are.
Oh, what is going on?
Hey, Mr. Hernandez, the one and only.
How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm pretty good. Working hard just like you, sir.
Oh, man.
I understand you've been sick a little bit.
I have. I'm on the mend, so I'm a little bit nasally, but I got the energy. You know, I'm going to bring the energy and the hijinks here. So if you got the ruler,
I hope so.
Slap my hand and get me back in line.
Oh, hell no. I'll be slapping it to keep you out of line. So I don't know who's jumped on already. Oh, we've got Megan Shapiro here already. Hi, Megan.
What's up, bro?
Hello to you. And we've got another LinkedIn user. Glad you joined us. We've got, as Jesse said, some cool hijinks planned here today. I'm Stephanie Brown from Intelligent Construction Opportunities. And what I keep doing is ratcheting up the combination of the construction world, infrastructure, and technology. And I'm so pleased to be partnering with Jesse on this little venture of ours because I just want to be able to make technology something that is not a thing that sits on its own, but we're all using it in some way, shape, or form, even at a very minimal, even if you're just a WhatsApp, Facebook type of person. So this is here so that people here in the construction world and other places can help us build this app. So I just want to give a shout out to Carolyn Mitchell-Lynn. She's part of Industry 4.0 with our good friend, Alan. Yes, indeed. So anybody want to let us know where they're coming in from? Some of it's obvious to some of us here and maybe not to others. But I want to sort of go over just a little bit of how we're going to break this out. As you saw in the intro, we came up with 3 ideas. And the one that most people voted on, we put a vote out there on LinkedIn. It came back and people were interested in WTF, where do I park? So this came out of Jesse's brain, knowing what he knows. Jesse, tell the audience a little bit. Thanks, Josh. Here's Josh from Arkansas. Glad you could join us, Josh. It came out of your brain because you told me a story which kind of floored me. So share it.
Yeah, so we were brainstorming before that, let me say this. The reason I'm super excited about doing this thing with you, collaborating, partnering on this effort, is most people that know me, like in real life or historically, know that I'm not a huge advocate for like jumping on new tech or new apps and new solutions. I usually wait 6 months and listen to everybody complain about how horrible it is before I start using it, right? Now, that being said, you and I feel like I'm aligned with you because you have a deep heart and appreciation for the human beings out there that are doing the work. And when we started talking about this idea, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not a tech guy. I know how to live stream and edit videos, and that's about as far as my technological skill goes. But I do appreciate people. I do understand what it's like to be the data entry monkey for the people that bought this app that are pressuring me to hurry up and be more productive, but make sure I input the data in the app because it's helping you, Jesse. And I'm like, this is not helping me. This is adding work. I don't get it. And so that was what intrigued me to like, okay, let's do this thing. Let's figure this out. Now, in terms of how the idea or the option for WTF, where do I park? Hey, you and I were talking, brainstorming, kind of getting planned up for this thing, which folks, y'all need to know all of the smoothness, the format, all of the things that you're going to experience today, that is 100% Stephanie. Like phenomenal job there. But we were talking and I made a comment about the parking situation and how, like, what it is, what my experience was when I got informed that I was going to go to a new project, because I don't know where the project is. And most of the time, the address to the project doesn't currently exist in Google Maps or whatever the hell's out there. Now, I come from a time where we didn't have Google Maps. We got an address and like a printed map of how to get to where we got, which only helped me get close to where I needed to be at 7 a.m. ready to work. It didn't communicate where the hell I needed to park, if there was even parking available, and sure as hell didn't communicate what the traffic was like. So what I would do is when I got those orders, I'm going to a new project over the weekend or the evening before, I would drive to find the project to get an idea of like, oh, there is no parking. I'm going to have to fend for myself and park on the road. If I don't get here early enough, I'm going to walk a mile carrying my damn tool bag. Oh, these people are fancy. I better not park there because that's GC parking. I need to park 10 miles away where the rest of the trades park. So like all of this intel I had to gather so that I would make it on time the next day. And I shared that with you, and that's it. That blossomed into where we're at.
That's it. And that's what we're trying to do here. We understand that there are, I'll say, more formal applications. Obviously, I'm involved with certain construction technology vendors who are, in my opinion, doing it well and doing it right and doing it functional, that need to get airspace as far as I'm concerned. But then there are these other areas which I don't think necessarily, I mean, I'm going to, do a call out to Matt Spergel here, because Matt and I also talk a lot. And we know that developers too often are teams that are internal to a larger organization. And so therefore don't necessarily truly get a feel for the applications they are building, like Matt is capable of doing and is doing as we speak. So that's very powerful. That's important. And I also just want to give a call out now to Zayed Salama. Obviously, one of Jesse's peeps. Thanks for joining today and taking your time, because all of this matters. Because at the end of the day, that's what we have, is a bunch of us doing a bunch of things, and hopefully all of us are trying to do things that matter.
Yes. Yes.
And everything else will follow, including the money, the whatever else, right?
That's it. That's the easy part. One thing I want to stress, and we want to make sure we say it a bunch of times, is everybody on the call, a lot of y'all contributed to the selection of what we're working on. So thank you for voting. That was super, super awesome. And like, we're looking for your insights also as we go through today's agenda. Like, we need your thoughts, your opinions, your objections, like all of the above. Because here's the funny thing, Steph, like you and I could totally just have this conversation and not engage with the audience and not take their thoughts into account, which would be very interesting considering I like to complain about some of the apps and solutions that are out there that failed to take input and consider like the realities of what other people experience. So my point in all that is y'all be ready to contribute because we need it.
Well, because basically what we're going to do is kind of take a consensus. Is that a button we'd use? Is that the most important thing? So this to me is a good segue because, you know, I'm going to try and cap our premiere today, I'll call it, at no more than 50 minutes tops, just for everybody's, you know, time. I mean, we've all got work to do and priorities, as we all know, switch on a dime or maybe on a dollar these days. What's a dime? Anyway, and so I'm going to sort of segue into how we're going to approach this. And all Jesse's going to do here is I'm going to bring up Jesse's mural board, and we're going to do what normally happens when someone's building an app. They're just basically dumping their brain out on some kind of piece of paper. Yes, there's apps out there, and we may or may not get into that down the road, but we're just really wanting to go through what does it take to build a WTF, where do I park app? And we're going to start with our little mantra today, which is going to be, we only need the to haves, not the nice to haves. So I want everybody to think about that when they, you know, are contributing their ideas, and we're going to try and start small. And so how are we going to do this? Well, first of all, I'm going to ask the audience, and Jesse and I'll, you know, banter as well. Is this a problem that really needs to be solved? Does it really need to be solved? Anybody want to jump in that's here and that's already, you know, sort of raised their hand and acknowledged that they're here, wants to sort of, I don't know, even just riff off the top of your head. Do you think, based on what Jesse said, that this is a problem that really needs to be solved?
Oh, can I
yeah. Yes.
What I'm feeling in my gut is it depends on who is answering, right? Because in my career, I was out there in the field, had to wrestle and fight for parking and all of those, get parking tickets and those things. And I spent a large chunk of my career, and now, like, I'm a house cat. So if I'm in the office,
I wondered about that, Beard.
Yeah, that's what that is. Like, if I've never had to figure out where the hell I'm going, figure out where the hell the parking is, figure out what is the traffic like, of course it's not a problem for me. But if I have, it's probably a problem that I'm interested in. Anyway, I just want to throw that in, that we may not get a lot of, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Well, see, but Zayad's asking the good question. Is it a nice to have, or is it a must have? Okay, here's my 2 cents. Ever being the kind of business thing. In my opinion, for as many construction sites as there will ever be in the universe, and there's forever many people that have to get to that construction site, from the owner of the project, I don't want to even say down, but whatever, across to the safety people holding stop signs so people don't run over each other on the streets around the construction site, I think it's a yes. because there's so many variations of human beings that access information or don't access information or however it is. So to me, it has legs because of that.
Yeah. And I'm going to tack on that. When we think, I mean, you may have seen one or two posts out there about the labor shortage.
What's that?
And so we think about the labor shortage. There are a few, very few of them, companies out there that don't have an attraction and retention problem. And it's because they demonstrate appreciation for their people, period. Right? I know that there are general contractors out there that one of their primary focuses when they're getting that dang job launched is how many people and what are the parking arrangements for our people? How can we get them as close as possible to the job site in such a way that they don't have to track through mud, in such a way that there's ample parking, ample space, very lit, security, trash, like they put in effort. And those jobs, the morale on that job is amazing. So then the question is like, what is it that they're doing? Well, from my perspective, they are considering, and I stole this one from, oh damn, his name just slipped through my head. Anyways, the employee's experience. And where does the employee's experience begin? Most of us think that it begins when they walk in the office or when they walk through the gates at the job site. No, the employee's experience begins when they find out they're going to this project. And so if I value that and I make that initial contact of this person is going to be on this project for X amount of months or years, and this is what they can expect, this is what we're going to do, or a signal of how we're going to make things easier and demonstrate appreciation for the people that are out there doing the work all day, every day. That's a game changer. It's a total game changer. So in terms of attraction and retention or combating the labor shortage, my stance is if you have this thing, yes, it is a must-have so that we can get people safely to the damn job site. Like we got to get them there to do the work first. And it's a good signal like, wow, these people went out of their way to make it super easy for me to figure out what I need to do. Now all I need to worry about is my lunch.
But that's your perspective as somebody on the job. But it should also matter to the site supervisor who may already know that. Because if people aren't showing up on time because they're frustrated trying to find parking, hello, that's a problem there. That goes all the way up to the GC, back up to the owner in some way, shape, or form. The schedule gets screwed up. People aren't starting. It's just a domino.
Totally.
So that's what I would say. I want to acknowledge Chris White.
Chris, what's up,
fantastic, supporting all kinds of things for both Jesse and I and the rest of the community. So yes, indeed. Good afternoon from upstate New York. Thanks, Chris, for joining us. And we have somebody who's concerned with grammar. Grammar was not my sweet spot. Maybe where can I park as opposed to do I park? So thank you, whoever's the English teacher in the crowd on LinkedIn. How do I get to the project? That'd be fine. We could, I mean, there's any ways we could talk about this. I think this is actually an interesting topic, actually, about even what you're entitling your app. Because, you know, it needs to be memorable. I think that the app world, this is my personal opinion, have gone a little bananas with the naming of apps, you know, literally calling them bananas or, you know, anything that you could possibly think is unrelated to what the thing does. That's what they've named it. So I think what I'm going to do is challenge people to come up with iterations or variations of what it looks like it could be called now. You understand, those of you that have been on long enough on today's call, you know that what we're sort of aiming for, and that's a big aim right now. But what would you call an app like this? So I throw that back out to people to brainstorm and share what that is for you. And Megan says a yes. That's a big yes for Megan. So thank you. So
now, I love it. And so like the clarity, right? You and I have been kicking this around, and like these questions of, where can I park? How do I get to the projects? Like, because there's a delay. Like I've talked mostly about how do I get to the project, not necessarily where do I park. So there is some clarity there. Ooh, we got a big comment here.
Yeah.
So
see, he did exactly what you did. So think of all the people in the world that are out there doing these things, because they want to show up as a professional when it comes time to do that in their day.
Yes.
That's really what it is. I mean, if it's any more than, I won't go down too far a rabbit hole, but when you decide how you're going to dress for that occasion or whatever it is, we all prepare in a certain way for what it is that we're going to do when we are public facing. And that includes arriving on time and not being flustered, dropping your laptop and forgetting your keys, or on and on and on. So that's a great comment, Megan. Thank you.
It just made me think.
Mike coming in from my neck of the woods. Really appreciate the support, Mike, and continue to, provide your feedback and what you think about whatever today. So carry on, Jesse. So
Mike.
Okay.
So you're talking about you made the statement. So two things. One, Megan, thank you, because I think what we just discovered is this isn't a construction problem, or this isn't just a construction solution. This is a professional situation that everybody deals with. Albert Octavianus is the guy that I stole the idea of, like the full employee journey. Anyways, you talked about, well, what am I going to wear? And what that made me think of is my mom, because I travel a lot. The past 5 years, I've been traveling all over the country, and I don't have to worry about the weather or not being prepared for cold weather or whatever, because my mom is going to call me 6 times to make sure that I pack the jacket, to let me know that it's raining in Omaha or that there's hurricanes predicted in Florida.
Yes.
It's funny, but it's awesome, because I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom. I need to pack a hoodie, or I need to pack a jacket, or I need to be prepared for the conditions, the elements that I'm going to be experiencing. And like, so to Megan's point, if she's traveling to a prison, or I don't know why I said prison, a courthouse. I'm thinking prison because of my
that's a little bit of that's a
Freudian slip. So if I'm traveling to a courthouse that I've never been to, I'm going to have to park, and I'm going to have to walk. And what's that walk going to be like? What's the weather like? And so in the construction industry, we're exposed, like everybody's exposed to elements, but as an installer, we're exposed to the elements for a longer duration, for a longer period of time. And that would be a valuable thing to be aware of, so that we are properly clothed to deal with it, to handle it, right? Oh, we got some great comments.
I'm looking at Heath. It's the mom app then. See? You see?
Oh, that's so good. That is so good.
But you know what? I mean, Heath makes a really good point, because again, rabbit hole. But when you look at the big picture of your life, you're fundamentally carrying around whatever those things were that you learned when you were a little kid. They don't change just because you grow up and get a job and, you know, do whatever you do in your life, right?
Truth.
So that's actually good. As I had said, yeah, I would add access privileges to suppliers, for example, based on agreed meeting times. This would also reduce the time of checking at the gates. That's true, Zayed, but right now, what we're going to try and do is get one simple, fundamental idea done here. And what we'll do after this is keep track of comments so that we can add these things in. Because as you know, Steph and Jess Build an App is an ongoing show. So just the premiere today.
Is that a threat?
Well, for you, it's a threat, buddy. For you, it's a threat. So I'm gonna keep track of questions to the best of my ability. We've got Carol here. Project details made easy is what her idea is for the name of the app, I'm assuming. So
love it.
Thank you for that. Project details made easy. That will be for consideration. Again, Zayed, you're going to get the top participation award today. Checking in and out is his I'm assuming name for the app. And we've got Carol Mitchell-Lynn in here, shadow people and create user flows to see what information they need to make their work experience better. Ooh. That's a lot. I mean, that's a for sure thing. That's something that a product manager who may remain nameless for the moment would definitely be useful. For sure.
So I created this little box over here.
Okay.
Steph. So this box right here is like the idea box so that we can always come back so we don't lose any of these great ideas.
Smart. Keep it up, smarty pants. That's what we need. That's why you're operating the mural board. Oh, here we've got a name. Here we got it. Thank you for that, Carol.
What do we got?
We've got another one. Matt's calling it the parking savior.
I like that. That's exciting.
I'm just imagining what that little iconography would look like now.
With a silhouette of me doing this.
Oh, yes. Well, I was going to say, but you know what I was going to say? Given what your name is, it all works together.
Yeah. Oh, man.
In case people in the crowd didn't know Jesus had a beard, look. Okay. Well done, Matt. Thank you for that.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. One-stop project details. Again, you know what I'm thinking when Carol's making her comments is I'm thinking specific to the trade, right? Is when you'd be talking about projects, I think. And then there's the broad brush, and then there's narrowing it down to the particular industry or sector like construction. So They're all, Jesse, keep typing because I think, you know, they're all good. And we've got one coming in from Mike Good. Tell me where to go. I love the double entendre there.
I was just going to say, I got a lot of exes that done told me where to go.
Well, wouldn't that be good though? So you downloaded the app late, whatever, you got your act together, you finally show up on the site, you say, well, I just downloaded the app late. Tell me where to go. I'll tell you where to go.
Yes, that's good.
Well done, Mike. Well done. So I want to keep this sort of going in terms of little quote unquote framework, agenda, whatever you're going to call it. The next question we want to ask is this parking problem frequent enough to enough people? I think we've answered that question, quite frankly. Would everybody agree? Can I get a yes from some of you out there?
Let's get some thumbs up emojis in the comments. Yep. Yeah, I'm biased, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
No, not at all, Jesse. I mean, this is so important that somebody that's been there and done that, as far as I'm concerned, be holding up one of the major pillars in this conversation. All right, I'm going to jump to the next one then. So can this app that we're building actually solve this problem? Well, I guess that's to be seen. Okay, so let's riff a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let's try and jump to the next question. What do you think is the most important part of this app, based on what you know, Jesse? And then we'll go to the audience.
Yeah, I think the most important, right? I think of it this way. What is the purpose of the damn app? Right? Which I'm going to say this and makes me feel like it's less likely that the app will even come to fruition. But the purpose of the app, from my perspective, is to make the day a deposit into making the day better for the men and women out there that are doing the work. That's the purpose of the app. How do we make their day better? How do we lessen their stress, their frustration, the unknown? Because, Steph, I know you know this. I would much rather have a hell no, I'm not interested, I'm not working with you, than to be floating in the ether, not knowing if it's a yes or no. So the unknown is what gives me the most stress. And I feel like I see that in so many of my friends, so many of my people out there. And so this app would close the gap on all of the unknowns that come with going to a new project or being reassigned to a new job, new location, etc. And so for me, that's the purpose. Now, that kind of makes me feel like, man, this is a really steep hill to climb, because if I think of, I've never been an app developer and I don't know what that side of the business is like, except that I know that a general contractor or an owner that's making these capital expenditures, they have more money than Jackie, the final clean person.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe this isn't a fresh idea. Maybe somebody thought about it before and said, well, Jackie can't pay, like, I'm not going to make a lot of money with Jackie. So let me build something for whoever the conglomerate is.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I know that's a little bit muddy, but I feel like, yes, this app could help alleviate stress and improve the quality of the experience the worker has in construction or out of construction. That's where I'm at.
Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is the thing. It's funny. I mean, in preparation for this, I was noticing people talking about apps in general, and everybody thinks everybody can build an app. Oh, I'll do an app for that. Oh, well, there should be an app for that. People didn't say, well, when they saw cars on the street, well, I have an idea for a car. I mean, people, we all think that. So what I would recommend for this exercise is, let's try and keep broadly narrow. And what do I mean by that? I mean that getting to a job site is an issue, right? So if we start with how are we going to get people to a job site, you are almost implying that it will help that employee's experience. And my opinion on this is that it should be an app that is more user-friendly to everybody, and not having to be in the vortex of the procurement department in construction of whether or not they invest in it. And that, to me, is the best way to keep it accessible. And therefore, as it gets built, you can add on these other features that, again, getting back to Megan's experience, maybe it is courthouses and jails. I don't know. I'm just saying. But if you're talking about your average city map is still going to reveal things to everybody. So if we start micro and move out, we'll get there. But for all intents and purposes, for now, I think it's best if we try and make the lives of construction professionals best. And Jesse will just keep making a bigger box on the mural board. Right?
Girl, I'm looking at some of these ideas are freaking phenomenal. There you go. Mia's got that. Like, how do you like crowdsource and get real time, super accurate in the moment information?
Yeah.
Mike is talking about
traffic
nearby like lunch and coffee.
Yeah, well, but that's the other app. Yep. That's exactly right. That's, and the other thing is, I think we're going to approach this as a per app basis. I think part of what some of the course correction being done, certainly from construction technology vendors, is they threw everything in the kitchen sink and they said, let's build an app. And we'll do this, and it can do that, and it can do this, and it can do that, and it can do this, and it can do that. You start making the app more expensive. The subscription goes up. There's more developers on the team that have to keep track of the updates to those things. So yes, we can absolutely throw in the kitchen sink. But what we're trying to do here is refine the outcome. I don't know how to get to the job site Monday morning, and I can't afford to lose this job. My wife just got laid off. WTF.
Oh God. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Totally.
So some of these ideas are absolutely valid, and all of them are going to be kept, and we will pull pieces from them. But yes. I would just caution that we don't go too broad. Otherwise, you've got an unwieldy app. And right now, today, I think what we're going to do is, where are we at here in terms of our time? We're just about just over a half an hour in. So what I want to do is, okay, so these are fantastic ideas. Of all the ideas that have been shared, what do we think are the most pertinent things outside? We'll move the food and the restaurant ideas away for a moment. What, in terms of the parking, would be the most vital thing to start with on that app? And I think it's obvious, but everybody jump in and have your say, and we'll share and see what that is.
Yeah. I'm going to give a thumbs up. I think, was it Ziad? Yeah. So Ziad brought up an amazing point, that the parking and the routes change as the project develops.
Okay.
So I think that I know that's 100% true. And like, that's stressful just as one person driving a vehicle, but the impact that it has on the community, because nobody really knows. And you have this slug of people trying to get the same place at the same time, finding out that things have changed and rerouting, and like, it has these really compounding. I think that right there, like updating the routes and the parking regularly, is an important element. 100%.
Well, let's put it this way: if you're not updating the routes, then we're going to make an app that's useless. Right? Really, we are.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Right?
Fair.
But we are.
Yes.
Because, you can make it as static as you want, but, we have to. So okay. So who agrees that what Jesse just said in the audience today, who agrees that should probably be one of the first pegs that we're concerning ourselves with?
I think Mike's comment, I'm seeing that as a thumbs up for it, because every general contractor has a site logistics plan, we know with months in advance of when we're anticipating a significant change, and so merging that would absolutely make this thing a real-time thing. It's no longer static, and it's not just the traffic route from home, whatever that might be.
So you're going to need to tell little old me let's talk a little bit more about what is a site logistics plan and what's in that site logistics plan that would apply to this idea.
Oh man, I wish we had
We will.
maybe we can get a volunteer from the audience to share an example, but I'm going to give the plumber version of a site logistics plan.
Go for it.
When I look at a site logistics plan, I see the location of the building pad, wherever that thing is going to be happening. What is that thing? Where does the building sit? Like super basic. So I'll see that. I'll see a traffic path that indicates where deliveries, etc., should go. I'll see a little block for parking where people are supposed to park on the good jobs. A lot of times they just leave it up to you. Or if you're building like in the city, in the Metroplex, parking really is a son of a gun, but there's ways to overcome that. Anyways, parking, the building pad, the location of the trailers, like the office trailers, trailer city, whatever you want to call it, wherever those are. And so fundamental basic, that would be the site. Oh, and laydown area. Where are materials, etc., storage of materials and equipment, where that's going to be. And so that's really basic. I would say, and got y'all out there, if I'm missing something, please throw it in the comments, because this is not my strength. Now, as a worker on the job site, that's great, but that doesn't really help me. So what I mean by that is, if I look at Trailer City and see these are where all the trailers are going to be, fine. And I think Mike made this point. But which one is the safety trailer? Where's the one that has the CPR or the first aid kit? Or there you go. Like, which one is the safety trailer? Which one is the one I go to orientation at? Which one is my contractor trailer? Which one's the GC trailer? So getting specificity in what that looks like would be awesome. Same thing with like the laydown space. If this is the general swath of laydown, where do I go get my material? Where is that material at? Like all of that, especially with things like mural and whatever, that can totally be done. Anyways, I've rambled on a little bit, but that's the gist of a logistics plan.
Okay, but you know what? Okay, so here's Riffer over here thinking, okay, so we've now got AI, right? And God knows AI knows lots about ourselves. So what I'm picturing is Jesse Hernandez lives in such and such a place in San Antonio, right? So AI would recognize that he's a part of the job. There'd be some sort of permissions thing at the beginning that would recognize that Jesse is Jesse and he's associated with this job because this contractor or whatever has given him, a digital permission that now attaches him to the logistics plan. Jesse is in his driveway at home, wherever he is, and he's either driving to the place or flying to the place. And so we got to be,
or on my bike, because we know that I've had to do that to get to work.
Right. So, I mean, it could be it. So really what this is turning into is a logistics plan that is married to your role and your experience on this particular project. And the element, I think, of real-time traffic and all of those would be, and I hope you're listening here, the one developer, Matt Spergel, I hope he's still on the phone, that you would be bolting on some sort of generic app that already had the ways of, pardon the pun, of what is going on in your particular location at that particular time. So you then are absorbing the traffic patterns and the routes that have been closed and the streets that aren't accessible and yada, yada, yada. So that, to me, is it again, what's curious about this, Jesse? It all starts, you were saying, with the experience. And you have to start with square one. Why are you even interested in this particular app?
Yeah. I had a little panic attack. You lost me there for a second, Stephanie, when you said married.
Oh, yeah, you and me both.
I'm out.
Never
Sorry.
mind. I shall never speak the word again.
Yeah, there you go. Job site map app, Miss Maya. Thank you.
I like the map app. I like it, the job site map. Yes, and the other thing is it's very generic too.
Simple.
Yes.
What is it? It's a job site map app. Oh,
yes, and we remember those things, right?
yes.
So it's not like what was it called again?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because now, Maya, you're gonna have to fight with my mom, because the other recommendation was the mom app. And I think I know which one my mom's gonna vote for.
Yes, and again, but again, the mom app is very memorable. It's like
Right.
you're never going to forget it, because whether you love or hate your mother, we all have one.
Well, and it also plays for, because I know this guy Jesse,
Yeah.
who 10 years ago would have listened to this conversation and said, my God, do we have to hold their hands and babysit these clowns? Like, just figure it out, get your ass to work. And so some people might think the mom app is totally appropriate.
Well, they might, but you know what I'd say to those naysayers? It's everything in everybody's life now. I mean, you are always dealing with a tsunami of something in your life in your waking hours. You just are.
Yes.
You just are. And here's Heath, and you will always use your mom's advice. See? And that's even a tagline. That's even a tagline.
I'm catching that. I am
Yes.
definitely catching that.
Yeah, well played, Heath. Yes. So yeah, I mean, this is why we're doing this. I mean, we didn't think of this. It's good. It's all fantastic input. It just makes all of us, kind of see the vision. And then if we narrow the vision, so I'm going to start recapping here. We're just running at just over 45 minutes now. So we figured out today, now I'm going to go back to my little questions here. Is this a problem that really needs to be solved? I think just by participation alone, everybody gets it. Is this parking problem frequent enough to enough people? Yes, we figured that out too. How we're going to do that is another question. Can this app that we actually build actually solve the problem? That remains to be seen. Although I will say now that that I know there's a site logistics plan that even exists, we already have some kind of a framework that we can build from. So that would be the next step. And what do you think is the most important part of this app? Again, I'm going to say it's site logistics, but it's reverse engineering the site logistics. The most important is the user. Who is that user? What is their role, and why are they even looking? I mean, in Megan's case, I think it was terrific, because even if we start with construction, eventually, as I say, if you are a litigator, of course, courts and jails and all that kind of stuff are going to matter to a certain kind of lawyer, So, but that's why I like the mom thing. It covers it all.
I love it.
And what do we got here? What is the smallest feature workflow we could start with? I didn't get to that one yet. We may hold that for our next session, and that's where we'll leave off. Does anybody else have any comments as far as the app is concerned that still was kind enough to hang in almost 50 minutes later from start time?
Yeah, share your thoughts out there, because hopefully the mural action here is signaling to you folks out there in the Omniverse that this is a together thing. And we value your contributions and your input. So if you've already given some, thank you a mazillion times. And also keep it coming, because this is, Steph, I got to tell you, girl, like, I knew this was going to be fun, you and I doing it. But I'm almost overwhelmed by how interactive people have been, how much people have contributed. It's exciting, super exciting.
Well, we're just trying to make it good for everybody. I mean, however far we get with this, I mean, I've got plans I'm making in the background. So, however good we get at this, listen, it's a tool. It's a tool. That's why I keep saying software is just a damn tool.
Yes.
It's all digital now, or a lot of it is. And these billionaires are insisting that our entire lives are going to be, driven by this digital world. Well, damn it, let's make it what we want it to be.
Yes.
Because they may know what they know, but they sure as hell don't know everything.
Truth.
So, no matter how much they scrape it all away from us or listen to us or whatever they do. And so I would say I double the bazillion thank yous today for those of you that took your precious time to spend time with us today and certainly contribute your input. And that's, let me just do a quick rundown here. That's Heath, that's Mia, that's Mike, that's Ziad, that's Carol, that's, let me see, that's Matt, that's Megan, that's Josh, that's Christopher.
Oh, we got a lot.
It matters. It really, and Carol Mitchell Lynn, my coffee mate here just down the street.
Nice.
Really, really appreciate the time that everybody took to jump on. You could have done something else, but you didn't. So we want to let you know that matters.
Yeah.
And with that, I am going to say, we hope you've enjoyed today's session. If you have any questions about today, email me directly at info@IntelOps. You can DM Jesse. You know where to find him on LinkedIn. No problema. I want to give a shout out to Depth Builder, Continuous Improvement Consulting with Jesse Hernandez, helping construction professionals amplify their influence and how they solve problems. And if this isn't an example, I don't know what is.
You're on.
Intelligent Construction Opportunities, my little founded company. We help source, select, and implement your technology. And the other side of it is if you want to show off your own construction technology, contact us at info@intelops.com. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. So thanks, everybody. And stay tuned because we're just getting started.
Peace.